Okay, we just finished an episode just with Jake and I. We sort of recounted. I just did a mentorship with Diane Lee, so we went over that whole process. What did we speak about?
We went over how to get inflamed in Japan on veg oil.
Oh yeah,
and how to avoid processed foods overseas.
Yeah, how he went to
depressed.
Japan was inflamo, so how it changes your whole psychology.
Yeah,
not sure.
We manifested going on Joe Rogan's. Like we did a bunch of shit. We talked shit for a while. So I don't know if you want to tap in and listen to it, enjoy. Another day, another podcast, another week, another consistent podcast. Welcome back to the Corrective Culture Podcast. It's just us today.
It's I go to Japan in a couple of days, so we'll get one in. So we want to stay consistent with it releasing every Monday morning. Because it just needs to happen, you know?
Some guy just messaged on Instagram and said, Monday's just got a whole lot better.
Oh, that was that's a girl. That was Rax.
Oh.
That's one of my clients, but that's like fake name she's got.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Rax.
Yeah, Rax. She's cool, man. She's the one with the 16 years of hip pain.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
We could segue into that. Who knows?
Yeah. We definitely could.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just got back from a Diane course.
Yeah, I just finished my mentorship. So it's 3 5-day sessions with Diane Lee.
Yep.
If people don't know Diane Lee, you can check her stuff out on YouTube. She's a physio in Canada. She wrote one of the first earlier textbooks on the pelvis, and just like a master at feeling the body. Really good at feeling the body, and just like feeling. She's opened that up to me a lot, man. Like what we were doing, it was sick. We were distracting the calcaneus. For the people, that's the heel bone, because you can get a talus, which is the bone on top of the heel, that could be tilted, and it could look like it's a pronated foot, but it's not. It's a talus tilt.
Yeah,
and so you could distract the talus, and then you let go, and you feel it, and you feel which way does it pull? Does it suck up the inside of the leg? Does it go back? Whatever, and yeah, you could feel, that's going back that way. And then she's done it so much, she has the experience of that's tibialis posterior and whatnot. Then you go check it, release it a little bit, and see if it distracts it, and
sick,
and it fully stops happening. So you realize this is what I took from it though, because a lot of these people, she's teaching a lot of physios this, they're doing say 30-minute, 20-minute sessions sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess they got to try and be that direct at finding where this sort of problem is. But in the end, I realized what we're doing already, man, if people just clean their tissue out, it's going to do the same sort of thing. Like when a lot of spots on me, nothing really hurt. Some people were looking for spots on me, and I couldn't really find any trigger points because I do so much to myself. Yeah. But it was cool, say the tibialis posterior one, that happened on my my right foot, and then there was a trigger point there that I've been missing. So with the calf stuff, you know how we've been doing that sort of roll, getting your calf in the roll and just gliding it left and right. It's deeper than that. So I realized, I need to get some deep work into my calves.
Yeah, I reckon, because the rollers and the shit just don't really get deep enough. That's the only gripe I have with the rollers is the calf is hard to get. The soleus and a gastroc, it's you just can't if they're really tender on, most people they are. Yeah. It's excruciating, but for us, I'd like to get a lot deeper, and it's
you need an elbow or something.
Yeah, you need someone to work on it. Remember when Ian used to work on? Yeah. It was fucking gnarly.
Yeah, I realized it's important. And this was the coolest thing. She showed a video, right? And this is she'll come on the potty eventually too. I think we booked her in later in the year. And she showed us cadaver she was doing. And she was looking at this dead body's foot, and she's like, I wonder why that lady's foot's all bunion there and pronated. We can see that she had a callus on the inside of her feet, and they were pronated, and she wanted to check more into the foot. So the guy's like, all right, and just pulled out a chainsaw. Just chainsaws this chick's leg off in front of him, right?
What the fuck?
I know, and how's to that would almost be traumatic to us, and for her, she's she's the sort of chick, reminds me of my mum a little bit, it wouldn't really sweat them.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd just be they wouldn't think about it that night later. There's nothing to them. Yeah. And then we're watching this video, didn't see the chainsaw but we saw the skin just scrape down from the top of the leg, folding over the rest of the calf and shit from the thigh. But she was like, what's holding that arch up and not allowing it to pronate? And it was the tib posterior connected to the navicular, which is one of the bones, sort of holding the arch up, and they found an adhesion a fascial adhesion in the dead body.
Cool.
Right near the malleolus, which is the outside of the ankle bone for people listening. And, inside for this side. And so they found an adhesion, and all they did, they just cut the adhesion, like cleaned it out, and then the foot completely pronated.
Yeah,
right?
sick.
So it was cool
Tissue work.
Yeah. So it was cool when people say, why do you do tissue work? It just does this.
Yeah.
When you visually see it on a video with a dead body.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's adhesion, how it's stopping the foot from pronating, creating a bunion.
Yeah.
All this sort of shit.
And just fucking seeing it like firsthand, eh?
Yeah.
Like how fucking nuts it is to see like when the shoulder's stuck and then you release everything around it and then the shoulder's not stuck anymore and you're like, and then someone tells you it doesn't work and you're like,
oh man,
what the fuck?
We filmed this session with this Sian yesterday. She's a client from Coffs Harbour. And it was cool on camera because she had lots of long-term back pain and hip pain. And her whole thing that she really wanted to do was get her arms above her head. Yeah. So her arms are about probably like, say that's 90. It was probably like 110 degrees, whatever, from like putting your arms above your head. She couldn't get them up. And she's a swimmer. So you can imagine her lats are just tight as fuck, right? Yeah. And she's seen a lot of people for this. And basically tissue work was all I gave her to get her arms above her head. So there's no point. I think she said, or someone else, she was given like wall angels or something to try and get her arms above her head, but she couldn't get it there.
Yeah, it's just stuck.
Because the tissue work isn't taught in most modalities. And it wasn't even taught now. We sort of just figured it out from all different things, right? Yeah. But and then all I did was think, all right, what are all the muscles that limit that? Internal rotators, basically. So I worked on her lats, which are obviously the big one. I worked on her subscapularis, and I worked on her pec minor and major. And her pec major actually showed up as tight. Yeah, which is, it's pretty rare. Yeah. So it showed up as tight. It was like off the table.
Cool.
And so I just did all them. Yeah. And then by the end of the session, she had her arms above her head. And the cool thing is it stayed because I showed her how to do it to herself. She's been doing it often, and she goes, yeah, it's fine now. I can fully lift my arms above her head. He goes, I'm out of pain. She goes, I'm so happy. And I'm just so inspired to like, she goes, I'm used to getting programs for like just fitness. And now I'm getting a program for my well-being, strength, posture, and fitness. And I'm just so, I feel different. And she goes, I'm swimming different. She reckons her legs are higher up in the water now. Yeah. So she feel like she was like stuck under the water a bit. She goes, my stride is different. I got a longer stride. So I'm running better. Cool. So all these people think about strength for everything, man. They're not, a lot of them just aren't working with people and they're not seeing the results. That's undeniable, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Undeniable. So that was pretty cool.
That's sick.
Hearing all that and how tissue work was that, and see how not complicated that was.
Yeah.
She needs to get her arm next external rotation, release the internal rotators. You just got to know them and then know tissue work to do that. But people aren't doing that.
No, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense, does it?
Yeah.
It just seems too easy. It seems too easy. Yeah.
I know, it does seem too easy.
It does, eh?
I think because we're used to that in our head. Yeah. It is easy in our head.
Yeah.
But I guess it does seem complicated to someone else. How am I going to remember what does this, and that? But
I think like when we were measuring, like when you even with checking your goniometry and you learn just the pelvis and you're like, okay, well, what's going to tip the pelvis? You learn all like the adductors and all that shit and the quads obviously, but then the hamstrings, vice versa. But like that gives you a good way of thinking from the get go to be like, well, then what would happen in the shoulder? Yeah. Or what would happen in the neck or the eye or whatever?
Every joint.
Everything.
Yeah.
That's the pretty cool,
agonistic relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like Paul's giving you the spark.
Yeah.
And then you got to learn your own way.
Then you got to learn your own way, yeah. Because otherwise it's just kind of
Because you could go see heaps of other check practitioners and they wouldn't do the same thing.
No.
Yeah, they'd probably give them a couple stretches and a longer period. And so it's like we got to just integrate all sorts of stuff. But I mean, Paul's huge on the tissue work. But you can only teach so much.
I know, and I watched him, like he was doing it to himself every day.
Yeah, right. So, that's cool to see that.
I've seen it, like with a foam roller though. Yeah. I wish I banged some of our corrected culture balls and gave them to him.
Yeah, and just show him like the way we do some things.
Yeah. I reckon he'd froth it. I reckon he'd love it.
He would, man. He would. Yeah. Any cool clients recently that you've been like?
Cool what did I have?
Findings or
to be honest, man, I can't really remember. Like, I did heaps of clients before Japan. Like I did like 5 or 6 that week, and then Japan was just like, it's just one big blur, really.
Yeah,
it's like 4 weeks of.
I guess I only took on 2, so it's like I can remember them right now. You know.
Yeah. Then nothing's really fresh in my head, but I'm just gonna wait a couple of weeks, and I'll get back into clients. I got got heaps of people asking me to book in, so I'll see. I'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm just feeling after Japan, man. Like I came good today. Like
I could tell you
Dude,
seemed like your nature was good today.
Flat. I was flat. Like yesterday, day before. Yeah. You know, you can't hide energy. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And it brought me back to like when I was younger, and I was like, that's how I used to feel a lot.
Yeah.
You know, just like
really,
just flat.
Yeah.
Just like, and not knowing why.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
and thinking you can meditate it away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like,
or think it away.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't, man. It's like the body and the mind are just one thing. And if you just treating your body like shit, like say eating veggie oils, and like I was eating pretty good, like rice, chicken, garlic dom, which, you know, all of this stuff would have had fucking shit in it. But I definitely noticed it. It's taken a week of eating like so strict to get and good water to feel good. Yeah.
Well, think about me only doing 4 nights in Sydney and I'm sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm nearly over it now, but
yeah.
And I knew it, man. I was like, all right, I was lacking sleep a little bit there. I was in fluorescent lights all day, no sunlight. I wasn't eating trash, but I was still eating not like we're used to eating.
Yeah.
Like restaurant food, not as good organic veggies, not organic meat. I cooked for a couple meals, but just wasn't fully onto it. And it's like I knew it. I knew I was going to get sick. And the plane, and just I remember I was sitting next to the plane, this chick, and she got the airplane meal, and I was like, she was a young girl, and her skin was pretty bad, and I was like, I felt sorry for her. I was like, oh, this poor girl, like she's probably going to go through another 10 years of this or a life of this without realizing, like trying to put cream on her skin and shit. And she's eating the plain food. And
the plain food's so bad.
Just like not there.
Yeah, I just drank the wine.
On the
way
plane?
home. Yeah, I was just like, I was having anxiety on the plane home, dude, because it was like I was up the back of the plane and it was like shaking a lot.
Yeah,
and my head was going like this, and dude, I just fucking flying scares me.
Dude, how good's the new Apple Vision Pro for planes? Eh?
Yeah.
I was
get a couple of sets of them. Eh?
Oh, how nuts! It looks like you can be sitting in a desert and watching a cinema. You know what I mean? Like,
it's pretty sick.
That's some out there shit. That's going to change the game. Hey, like apparently people reckon it's like it's. What the fuck's this thing doing, dude? What do I got to tighten here?
I don't know.
There we go. I think that's it.
That was so good watching you go through that.
Yeah, my mic just kept dropping. I was like, yeah, just it looks mental, and I was like, whoa, the future is going to be insane, and people that aren't in control of the shit are just going to like get fat and just sit on that thing and have girlfriends in it, and like
fully,
like it's going to be
it's going to be nuts, dude.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm fucking tripping out on though is like I did an EMF test on my Bose headphones before I went over, and it was just fucked.
Really?
Yeah.
Like how high?
How bad, dude. Fuck. So like when I put them on, I was like, I had that in my head, and I was like, fuck this. And then I was like, I want the Apple Vision Pro because they look sick, be insane. And I was like, fuck, what about the radiation so close to your head? And like,
it's one of those things. It's a stressor, right?
It's a stressor.
You wonder if your other physiological load symptoms are right. Will you be alright or not? But I
think yeah, for sure. But like if you're wearing it every day for like 10 years, could be pretty gnarly on the brain. And I was listening to Robert Kennedy the other day, and he was talking about how many lawsuits he's got going for telephone companies right now with brain tumors right close next to the ear.
Wow.
Yeah, and tumors on the ear basically and they're like, that's the side they use the phone.
That's always the side. It's always that, eh?
Yeah, so it's like
it's that the brain surgeon, the main child brain surgeon in Sydney, doesn't let his kids have phones apparently.
Yeah,
makes them use it on a speaker or something because he always cuts them out on the phone side, ear side.
Dude, it's great, and no one's talking about it. I think the last like act on it was in 1995,
right,
on EMF. Yeah. So they haven't updated it since then. Yeah, right. So I think it's going to get a little messy, but that's only in the holistic health world. I don't think people are really worrying about it too much. Like when I was snowboarding, everyone just had AirPods in. Yeah, and I watched the EMF frequencies on them on YouTube, man. It was nuts. They're like double everything else.
Yeah, fuck yeah. It's another aspect, eh? But at the same time, I got to be cancelling that noise on the plane, eh?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, like there was 2 kids near me. There was a Chinese chick next to me who was like, kept jumping over me, dude, in the night, and she ripped my headphones off my head at one stage because the cord was in the thing. Oh, right. I was just like, this is
9-hour flight, eh?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, 9 hours isn't crazy, but after fucking 4 weeks of just snowboarding and stuff is pretty nuts, man. Like the nature.
I hate flying, man. I really fucking hate it, eh? The whole like just jumping on the plane, sitting there for so long, and just the smell of the joint, like especially when they start getting the food. Every plane food has the same fucking smell. It's a weird smell, eh?
Yeah, it is, eh? It is.
And it's like, Just the air, and apparently I think even the
Radiation.
EMF in the plane is
Yeah,
nuts.
it's supposed to be. It's just like a big fucking X-ray machine, eh?
Yeah, well, my uncle, he died from brain tumors, and he was a pilot.
True.
Didn't was no he got melanoma first.
Yeah.
And then lung cancer and all that sort of stuff, but he didn't smoke or nothing, so it just started spreading through his body.
Yeah, holy
and then
shit.
into the brain. But you wonder if it was just being in that cockpit for like
Yeah,
his whole life.
His whole life, eh?
I'd be interested to see studies on cancer of pilots and whatnot, eh? If anything's ever been done. Probably hasn't been.
Yeah, I was listening to this girl the other day, and she said, skin cancers are rising, but people are going out in the sun less. So what's that saying to us? It's saying that our skin, our last organ to get nutrients in the body, is struggling with all the shitty food, and also wearing sunnies in the light.
Yeah,
Did you watch that?
No, I've heard. Jack Carter talks about that sort of stuff, and Jack Cruz.
Yeah, because all the receptors in your eyes get the vitamin D, but also turn into melanin.
Yeah,
which is like it works against skin cancers.
Okay,
and it's like saves you from it.
Yeah,
basically. But so if you're blocking it out with sunnies all the time, they're not getting enough light.
And I think I saw something about like the inflammation in the skin changes the color, like the red. And then you absorb it differently and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, because you see red people.
Yeah, true,
true. They're just inflamed. And when you see a red face, it's like, oh, that person generally drinks alcohol. Like how many people do you know that are full into beer and they got the reddest face ever?
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, what happened with my mate Ryan in like he just like
he doesn't listen to this, does he?
Yeah, he does. Like, he'd be cool with me telling. Like he's the funniest dude.
Yeah.
But because he was over there a month before, dude, and he was just sinking beers. And I got over there and he's like, look at my face, it's so fat.
Yeah.
And it was.
Really?
Yeah, heaps like, just like, organ, that represents your organs having fat around them when you got fat in your face, that. And I was just like, fuck. And then he actually got pretty sick and he fully stopped drinking. But
oh, nice.
Yeah, you just got to. You can't be, like, it's like having a loaf of bread each beer.
Yeah, I think I saw his story a couple of days ago and they were on it.
Yeah. He's still enjoying himself. But
yeah,
it's
like
was going
that
hard.
time, and then he'll come back and start working again and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because for the people listening, I go to Japan for 13 days soon, and I know I'm going to eventually feel pretty shit, but I'm going to really do my best. Like, I'll try and I probably won't have that casual beer every night. I'll just I'm going to a festival there too, so I'm sure there'll be some drinks, but I just will never lose control.
No,
and I'll just try my best with whatever decent foods I can get. But it's 13 days will be a bit easier.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm going to do 3 weeks next time.
Yeah.
Because, it's not worth it for me to put my body under that stress.
Yeah.
Like, and I was looking, like, the whole town, man, because we couldn't cook because we're in a hotel that doesn't allow you to cook. So we were eating freshly cooked sourdough in the morning and a chia pudding and yogurt and berries and stuff. That's what I was kind of eating in the morning. And then I'd have, like, for lunch, you'd have, like, a chicken rice bowl, karage chicken rice bowl.
Yeah.
Like, it's just hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. And then pizza or like, but yeah, it's just rice and meat's the cleanest you can eat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but
who else? Was it many of you? Was it just how's the other crew? Like, obviously you and Jai and Tommy were sort of onto it. Was other boys there that did you go with or that?
Yeah, no one else really gives a fuck about what they're eating.
Yeah.
Like it's just whatever.
Even that last course I did, it's gold for the learning the mechanics and that. But sometimes I was looking at some things thinking, fuck, this person's like, I can see they're inflamed, right? And like they were talking about like a acid reflux thing, this girl's neck and her neck tightens up, and they were talking about all the brachial plexus and the collarbone and shit, and I'm just thinking, fuck, it's diet. Like,
there's inflammation.
It changes tissue. And so when we were surfing yesterday morning, man, this guy, it's happened so much lately. It's every day, man, someone's coming up and talking to me about the cleanse, or they've done the cleanse, or they follow our work or whatnot. Oh, even in I didn't tell you, in the sauna at the place in Sydney, Waterloo, there was an Irish couple, and then like when you sit in the sauna and it's sort of quiet, you feel like you should talk like in a public sauna. It's like and first of all these other guys come in, fill up their water bottle out of the sauna tap, and then start drinking it and then like spraying it on the sauna. And it's crazy how that's normal to everyone else. But I'm like, whoa, these people just drank out of the fucking tap. But this couple was in there and then he goes, are you from Collective Culture? And he's Irish.
No way.
And he's like, I was like, yeah. He's like, oh man. He goes, I've watched your videos on TikTok, and he goes, I'm a physio over in Ireland. Sick. And me and my girl watched him. We just moved here from Sydney 2 weeks ago and that. And he goes, I couldn't believe it. He goes, I thought that was you. And I was telling him, is that correct culture? And I was like, oh, cheers, bro. And then someone else in the gym said they did the cleanse. Oh, so a couple of people, two groups of people in Sydney. Oh, and one of the physios in the class had done the cleanse.
True.
So it follows all that stuff. But yesterday out in the surf, this guy goes, hey man, how you go? I was like, good man. I thought he was just sort of saying hello because we're out in the surf together. And he's like, oh, I just did your cleanse. He goes, I had knee pain that I saw 4 specialists for, and it completely went away. And he goes, now I'm basically rehabbing myself. I can squat now and do things. And he goes, and I'm still off the piss. He goes, because he must have obviously been stuck on the piss. He goes, I still haven't jumped back on it. So it's cool hearing that.
Fucking hell. I had the same thing today in the surf. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Some bodyboarder paddled up to me. He's like, yeah, he's just loving the stuff. It's so cool to see that. Like, and he said to me, he goes, you guys are just different. You're just doing shit different. You're changing the game. He's like, I've never seen anything like it. And I was like, I kind of brushed it off as like, oh, thanks, man, blah, blah, blah. And then I was sitting at the back and I thought about it. And I was like, fuck, that's magic. That's cool. That's so cool to hear, because sometimes you doubt yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just so cool to just fucking, that's what makes it worth it, eh?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and knowing that their bloodline is now somewhat into that when he has kids, his partner, all that sort of stuff. It's like they're all going to subtly, it's a spark in their head that will never be forgotten.
You're
it's
doing
like
some good in the world, right?
Yeah. And this guy with the knee, I told him, I was like, I go, bro, how good's knowing that? How good's knowing that inflammation affects your joints and pain and that it's not a physical thing all the time?
Yeah.
And knowing that, and you could think it as a physical thing because inflammation is water and heat, so it destabilizes the tissue and it may move the joint of center because it's water, so it's going to move shit. And that, you know, so it is still a physical thing, but the inflammation can fix that. And I go, how good's knowing that now? So in the future, if there's some other little ailment comes up and you know your shit's not on point, don't always think you got to stretch and stabilize something. First start with nutrition, water, diet, lose the inflammation, hence the cleanse or something along those lines, right? Even without the products, just following those diets, and then wait and see what happens. And I love this is what's cool, because that Rax client, name's Raquel. I worked with her because she's on our app. So I'm like, all right, well, she's supporting us through the app. Because there's a wait list of fucking 80 people, right? Yeah. So I'm like, I chose her because she's on the app. Didn't know her at all. Hadn't seen her before, but I was like, I'll support her. And because since she's on the app, I know she's done the cleanse, and I know she's somewhat in that health food. So I don't have to worry about all the shit. Fully. And so hers was a pure physical thing. Yeah. And look how much easier it is. And the other girl done the cleanse too with the other back pain. Yeah. So how much easier is to rehab someone when they're doing that? And then I could focus on the hip. And for her thing, man, I was told you, but for the people listening, she had a 4-degree hip hike on her left hip, and her leg was shorter on that left side. Well, actually on the table, so I think she'd been told her right leg was longer, right? So on the table, her right leg was longer. And then I was like, oh, okay. But when I checked her hip hike, her left hip was higher. So when you would see a left hip higher, a lot of the time you would think, oh, is that leg longer and making that hip on the same side higher? But on the tape, when I laid her down, her right leg was longer. So that theory went out the window, right? And then, so when I released her QL and the tissue above her hip, the hip height dropped, and then I checked her on the table, and the leg length was the same. But not only did it drop, it went from a posterior tilt, which means backwards tilt for people listening, 2 degrees inverted pelvis, and it dropped to 4 degrees tilted, in line with her other one. So the other one was 4 degrees, and the left one was 2 degrees inverted. And then when I released the left QL, it dropped to 4 degrees tilted, which I'm still trying to figure that out. Because I've seen it happen before, but I don't know the mechanism of why hiking the hip posteriorly tilts the ilium on that side. But all I know is that it did it. And remember, when that hip is changed, that's the hole basically. I'm talking about the hole that the bone would go on for your femur. It means that's now in a more centered position. So they won't get a little scrubbing or itis or some sort of hip pain from walking around. And then that was step one. And then her glute medius, but her posterior fibers were weak. I tried to do the middle fibers and it hurt her. So I said, all right, let's listen to the pain teacher and go to where we can go. And then she messaged me the next morning, goes, for the first time in 16 years, I woke up with that pain. I went for a run with that pain. She goes,
how good's that?
Yeah. She's not out of the woods yet, so we're building it up. Yeah. But her quality, she can sleep now. So now she can regenerate overnight. Yeah. She used to not be able to sleep in the same bed as a partner. Yeah, right. Because the bed. So now she can sleep in the bed.
Sick.
So you know what I mean? Like her whole fucking life changed.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel so good. And it made me really like inspired me heaps to like, oh fuck, I love this shit. Like I just want to know more.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so true, dude. I remember when we first started and I was having these crazy results and I was like almost blowing myself away.
Yeah.
Like I was having chicks cry and just being like, I'm out of pain and like nut shit. And I was like, fuck, this is crazy, dude. Like, I know. This shit works. Like, this is fucking nuts. And it just gave you that self-belief to like grow, hey. And you're right, it just makes you want to learn more, and it makes you want to, it just fucking is what it is, eh? It just makes you fired up to just keep pushing forward. And like, think about how far you've come in the last year, and then think about how far you're going to come in the next year.
I know, dude.
It's like,
think about this.
Yeah.
2018 is when I learnt the name of a muscle, basically.
Yeah.
That's 6 years.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Imagine another, and it's more rapidly learning the last few years, right? Because now, and now it's like you've just backed yourself so much. It's the confidence. I don't know. The confidence has slowly crept in, but now we're confident. You know?
Yeah, totally, for sure. For me, it's been a little slower, but I just learn like that. You know, I learn a little slower than you, but I once I know it, I know it. Yeah. It's like you got that like that. Fuck, I don't know. Your learning style is just very like you learn it, and you're just like that's like it just boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I just play with my body a lot. Yeah, and a lot of it shit's just I don't know. Yeah,
I think you embodied the learning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, of course you're going to learn when you just like, oh, that's that. I'll try it with myself, and then you try it on clients. Like, you know, like you're embodying the entire thing. That's why you're getting amazing at what you do. Like,
yeah, it's just like how we talk about our people can get stuck in victims of blaming people for the good and the bad. Like, I can, you know, you could say, I could be in a victim and say to blame dad for not working or not financially supporting their household, right?
Yeah.
But I never felt like that ever in my life.
That's a bit of a shame.
That's right.
And then you got the mate talent like backing you up.
Yeah. And then my mum would work, right?
Yeah.
But I got something way better than that. I got his mindset and his spark of curiosity and learning about the body, which has then paid off way more than any fucking $100 a week could do, you know? Yeah. And I had a fine life. So I never actually thought about that ever because he was still so supporting. He was, in other ways, you know, he would always do anything for us. So it was, but I could see how you can get caught thinking, oh, I didn't do this, or my dad didn't do me this, or my mum didn't do, like all this sort of shit. Everyone's got some shit to lean back on, and it's like, there's good and bad. You can take good from everyone, you know?
It's like deep instilled, like, I don't think a lot of people really know where that comes from. Like that deep instilled fear of moving forward, like of being like, I'm going to go for it. Like, you know, like what you were just talking about with your dad. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Like as in seeing like falling into
the victim archetype. Yeah. Like, I don't think people know because like they're just like, it just doesn't even really like, they don't really think too much into it. So I don't know, maybe it's like good organic food and stuff over time, and then listening to people like all the people we listen to on the podcast really make you feel invincible, like you can do anything. Yeah. But before that, there is a lot of doubt and a little and stuff like in your subconscious. Like when you were scaffolding, you would have just been like, it wouldn't even have crossed your mind. You would have just been like, oh, yeah, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And then it's the Matrix, man.
It is,
dude.
It's the Matrix. It's crazy to think how far you've come, dude.
I know, yeah. Yeah. How you can be blinded by being average. Yeah. Because exactly that, man. Like opening, how we've spoke about so many times in the potty, like just opening up to some part of that world that I had no idea. It was just TV, school, party with the boys. Yeah. There was no depth. And it wasn't my own fault. It was just, it wasn't introduced to me. It wasn't like, there's a whole new world out there, you know, a whole new life. People listening to this, they're sort of already, they're on that track, you know, but there'll be people that aren't listening to this, and people that is 9 to 5, nothing wrong with 9 to 5, but like stuck in that way of thinking of like work, house, have sex with missus once a week, maybe once a month. Yeah. And just like, these rules that they think, oh, but this is just normal, and I'm depressed. Like, I don't know why I'm depressed. It's something wrong with my chemicals, but it's not. It's first and foremost probably the chemicals from food, nutrition, and whatnot, but also from there isn't normal. It isn't normal to go fucking work 12 hours a day and then come home and then have no one there, and all this, that's not normal, and so that is that is depressing. You know,
it is depressing, dude.
Yeah. So like when I met you, and then like it's like I had a taste of it with my dad, definitely.
Yeah.
Like obviously,
you
dad's
can see that for sure.
Yeah, but more so just he was into like some Steiner shit and all that sort of stuff, right? But I never got into philosophy sort of stuff like you sort of showed me like I said, Alan Watts and Ram Dass and just like that just segues into opens doors and then goes down other avenues, and then you start listening to deeper things like, whoa, I never thought about that. Never thought about this. And then Paul Chek, fuck man, like if you think about my whole life changed from watching a video of Paul that you shared on Facebook. And it's crazy how it just opened up and complete empowerment, king shit of your whole life is in your control. And that's so cool. And your food and your water, you got to do all this shit. If you're not doing it, don't worry about anything else because you're fucking not even healthy. Your vessel isn't there. Your fascia isn't right. You can't move through space. You think like shit because your body's dying all day long in a cortisol response, and there's anxiety attached to that. And there's people with anxiety going to see fucking psychiatrists having probably 4 coffees a day, and the psychiatrist hasn't asked them what they're eating. And we already know if I have a couple of coffees, I'll feel anxious. If I eat shit, won't feel great. If you there's a high and low, like if you get on drugs for that night, get on the bag, it's a good night with your friends, and the next 3 days your serotonin is low. It's just low, and it's so unfulfilling.
Yeah.
So unfulfilling.
Yeah, it's like we're a vessel, and I don't think you can really unlock your true potential until you really clean your diet up, start reading some philosophy, and start thinking a bit deeper and feeling the energy or the shit from outside of you coming into you and saying this is what you're supposed to do here. You know what I mean? Like that came over time for me, and when I meditated more, I was like, I just get a clearer feeling of where I'm meant to go. Instead of being like, if I drink, that goes away. I don't feel like I know where I'm going. I don't feel like I have purpose and stuff. Like, so I think like the cleaner you are, the more you can hear from like the spirit world or something like that. You just get more clear messages, and you know why you're here. And I don't know, maybe I'm talking shit, but
I know,
that's kind of how I feel. Like
you feel just on your path.
You do.
Whenever it's crazy how the diet and your sleep, especially. Fuck, imagine when you love to sleep, you can get your diet right. If you lack of sleep,
I'm terrible.
Same.
I'm a bad person if I don't sleep.
I noticed it at Diane one day because I was talking to someone on the phone and I had a little bit of a late night, and then the next day, someone was working on me, and they said something, and I'll put your hand here, and I felt pissed off for a second, like triggered for a little bit of a second. I didn't let it come into my reality. I didn't let them feel it because I was laying on the table, but I witnessed that. And I was like, oh, that's so funny how I'm only pissed off because I'm tired.
Yeah.
And if I was someone that was more unaware, I would act on that and probably say something stupid or whatever, and then change my reality. And then all of a sudden I'm in this situation like, it was his fucking fault. Like, poor me. Like,
do you think that's because like maybe the guy that's working on you, wanted you to be a certain way and you felt that energy? Like wanted you to act a certain way by moving around there? Or was it just
it was something purely, he did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. It was something like, oh no, put your hand here instead of there. You know what I mean?
So he had,
I think he was wrong. My hand should have been there because maybe he just didn't hear this thing, whatever. And it was nothing. It was friends the whole time, right? But I was just like, it was like a 2-second thing. I was like, I just witnessed that. Oh, it could have been anything.
That's
it could have
good.
been fucking someone honking the car or whatever.
Yeah.
And actually, that did happen. Someone honked as like walking the street, like honks the car, like this guy in a ute, and everything went through my head. I was like, I visualized fucking this dude up in front of like 50 people there. I visualized him getting out of the car, and then me just lighting him up. That's what I visualized, and all that went through my head for probably like 30 seconds.
Yeah, the minds of fucking can just take you. Hey, if you're not careful.
And I'm glad. Like, obviously, if you did come out of the car, I wouldn't have done all that, I would have been like, oh, what the fuck am I doing right here? But who knows, you could get caught in the wrong...
you could get caught in the wrong day. Like, there's been days when I've been really bad, and it's like, fuck, if they get you on those days, like... Yeah. Like that video of that guy jumping out of the car, I don't know if you saw that thing, chasing that dude with a knife. I watched that just before. Oh, did he have a knife? Yeah, he had a knife, and this guy's staunching him, going like looking all tough and stuff, and this guy just turns his car around, runs into his car. Yeah. But then he gets out of the car with a knife, and the guy's like, he's got a knife. And he's running. See the knife. Yeah. He's running away, and he's going, you could hear the fear in his voice.
Yeah.
He was like, help me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's because, like, you know, when the fucking lion comes out.
Yeah. Well, when the knife comes out, it's like, oh shit. Like,
yeah, it's like, who's the real man? You know what I mean? It's like, it's hectic.
And I was thinking maybe I attracted, like, nothing bad really ever happens to me. That shit never happens to me. No. Oh, yeah. I guess, actually, remember that guy the other day I was saying, said, I'll fucking kill you. What was he saying to me? Remember I was on the scooter with Honey?
Yeah. He was just like a smacky or something.
Yeah, he was a smacky. And yes, I still remember his face, but he was so smacked out.
Yeah.
Full face tats. But I was wondering, like, because I was in a semi-pissed off state, tired, getting a little bit over it, near the end of the course, just tired. And I was like, maybe I attracted that guy honking the car at me. Like, it's the universe testing you. Oh, you want to be angry? I'll give you anger.
Yeah,
you know,
fully.
like,
I reckon.
Because you want to be angry. It's a weird thing.
I reckon we attract it all the time, man. We do.
Yeah,
fucking do.
Yeah, you can find peace. There's so many ways to find peace.
That's the work. That's the Michael Singer work.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, look at your reactions. It's the best shit ever.
Harry sent us some photos about funny comments. People that like rip on us on. Let's have a look.
How funny is, like, as we're getting bigger, fam, we're getting more ripped on, which is great. Like, at the start, we were a little, like, I was definitely a little bit insecure about it and we'd bite back. But now I actually love it.
Yeah, now
I love getting ripped on.
And
now.
it's still
funny.
0.1% of 100% of people. But
for sure. Just every now and then you get someone who's just like,
it's like humorous now, and you can't even respond anymore because it's just too many fucking.
But fuck, it's good. We got to share some with yous.
Yeah. So
and anyone out there that's getting ripped on, just fucking enjoy it.
Okay, so. Where did these fucking photos go? Oh, here they are. Okay. So here's one SCM release. Oh, this isn't even ripping on me. He goes, please do more feet videos. So because I did SCM, so I did a video on this chick's foot, and it got like 3 fucking point something million views, and. Because and I remember people were like saying, I sexualized it because I was talking about, like, unless you're into feet, like, you know, I'm not into it, but if you're into it, you know, you can do this. But I know the girl, right? So it's like the dynamic was fine. It's funny dynamic.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean. What did Perry say in that potty about triggering? Like, if you're easily triggered, you're easily manipulated or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's people that get triggered about my dynamic with one girl on there, which is funny as fuck, and that is my dynamic with a lot of girls. It's this humorous. It's humorous. It's funny. We're both on the level. I'd never push it too far. You know what I mean? It's the game, and people can get triggered about that and saying he sexualized this woman. There's a few girls, but then again, 3.1 out of those million people were loving it and just wanted more of it. But
yeah,
crazy. Oh, here's one. So I did a video on jolly jumpers ages ago. I remember I found this video a couple of years ago, man. I just went on YouTube. I typed in jolly jumpers. It was nothing to do with a jolly jumper video in the sense of wasn't talking about the mechanics of it. It was just a kid in a jolly jumper. But I couldn't believe how perfectly textbooked it was, because this kid, even what they were saying in it, it was fucking cervical spine just bouncing up and down, like neck just hanging. And to the average person, it wouldn't even look unusual, you know?
Yeah.
But I could see it. And then the kid was looking down. And they were like, why are you looking down? Like, look up at us. I think in the caption, like a couple of years ago, I wrote, it's looking down because the cervical extensors aren't developed yet from its crawling, from its inchworm on the ground. So for people listening, when your kid crawls on the back, like its first movements will be like back crawling before it crawls, and that its head will go forward and back into extension, forward into flexion, and that actually develops the suboccipitals of the head to drive in the cervical curve, the natural cervical curve of the spine. You need a cervical curve to rotate the neck, but also to hold your head up, right? So the kid's looking at the ground because it can't really hold its head up yet because it hasn't developed that. Hence why you can't axle load a baby, at least for bouncing up and down for long periods of time, because nature will axially load it when it can stand up. And then this chick goes, nothing wrong for 10 minutes here and there. like, you know, this... Where's she coming from?
Yeah, I know.
What do you mean? How 10 minutes? What is 15 minutes too long? Is 10 minutes okay? Like, and we're just seeing it, man. Fuck it. Even Diane talks about, like, if you're in the field, you see that shit. It doesn't make sense from physics. Physics, you're bouncing off the cervical curve. It doesn't make sense. And then right underneath goes, nothing wrong with hitting the crack pipe here and there either. Hey, so like, like absolutely Out of touch. What's this one? I'm doing a stretch and someone says, I call this the spank me daddy stretch.
I got the tarot one.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know if you guys saw, I did a tarot victim skit. And
people didn't know it was a skit.
That was a skit. That was a joke. Like, I guess some people don't really get the humor, but I'm going to be doing more of it. So, but this miss someone on fucking Instagram. Yo, I've been wanting to share thoughts about how you guys portray the victim at times. I sent you a PM but accidentally hit send and have to wait for you to accept now. I never actually saw the thing, but I mean, everyone's got some sort of victim.
Got it. Yeah.
And there's an opposite side to victim, but it's not just that one. There are so many comments like...
This chick wants to write to us about it.
Yeah. It's just like, stop that. Spirit already told you. You just keep telling Spirit, nah, reading the book, you need to figure it out. Like, there's just so many people just thinking it's legit and just like cooking us.
And for people wondering what the video was, it was Jake got these tarot cards and then he did, it was fucking classic, we filmed it doing a, pulling the, like, how many cards are on there?
28 or something.
28, right? So, and one of the cards is the victim. So he pulled the victim card and I was like, oh, no, it must be a stake, whatever. And put it back down. And then we obviously did the cut, shuffle the deck, but we know where the victim card was, and then got to pull it again and then made you pull it like 3 or 4 times or some shit. And people all thought it was legit and that we would like post that. And
then I'm a victim.
Yeah. And that like, and that was the ironic of the video was like, I'm not a victim. Like, you're a victim.
Fuck. Do you have any like real gnarly ones? Like anyone just like...
Okay. This guy. So this is one, I did one where I said I hurt my back because I did hurt my back ages ago doing I forget what I did. I did like a hyperextension exercise. I don't know what I did. I went too much into hyperextension from an old deadlift injury. And then this person goes, you should see a physio to get a proper diagnosis. You're not trained to diagnose back injuries. You have no idea what you're doing. And then I've literally trained a couple of physios that like, and I got physios want to book in and learn from me and shit. And I go, oh, that's weird. Like I train physios for back injury rehabilitation and uni definitely won't teach good concepts for that, which is true. Yeah. And I guess a lot of physios will agree with that. Yeah. You got to do post-grad education for that sort of stuff because it's very behind. And he goes, you're just a delusion. You're just I haven't even seen this before. You're just delusional. Just another gym nut that think he knows everything. Go get a real education and stop dreaming. So this is the future of education. And respecting education, I think I'm past the fact of respecting education and now I'm at of respecting what someone says to me and more importantly, respecting results. Yeah. I just know for a fact, these 2 girls with the hip pain and the back pain, this back pain chick, years of pain, right? Physios tell me multifidus doesn't even turn off. I've had them message that. What got her out of back pain was turning multifidus on. By the time she got home back to Coffs Harbour, it's usually in agony driving 4.5 hours. She messaged me saying, I drove home without any pain. And that's from doing one little exercise to turn it on. Yeah. But because I could feel her spine and feel, okay, is the pain there? Because L3 is not turning on. She's like, oh, it is. And then when I moved to quads, I watched L3 slide forward. Oh, it is. No one fully taught me that exact system. It was just a combination of things and common sense of seeing physics and like that would hurt there if I had that going on. And this, like, they respect the name too much. Like we all used to with doctors, man. I think it's slowly changing as we know with the last few years. It's like you respect what they say, but you respect more importantly the results. And if the results aren't there, it's like getting financial advice from a financial advisor instead of a multimillionaire. It's like this common sense. I'm gonna listen to Usain Bolt about how to run a lot of the time more than some local running coach or something. You know, I'll still listen to these people, but you just gotta use common sense and this person's telling me to get a proper diagnosis of my own back. And I fixed it. I fixed it in 2 days. I was like, oh, I think the facets are jammed. So I did literally everything for that. And I laid in the roller and like decompressed it and then did some flexion shit. And the pain was like 80% better. I was like, oh, that's it. Lowered some inflammation. It was gone. So I literally fixed my back. And a diagnosis, how are you going to diagnose my back in 20 minutes, man? I was with these girls for 3 hours fixing their back. Imagine a 20-minute model or 30-minute model. I couldn't have even done a quarter of the assessment in that. So what I find is warped and challenging for these physios is the business model. And if you're a physio listening to this, because we do a lot of them, and nothing against physios, obviously I just did a physio course, right? Amazing, I just care about if you're good at what you do or not, right? Yeah. If you have some for 20, 30 minutes, that's not long enough. So what you need to do is change your business model, charge more if you need to, whatever, but you need to have someone for at least an hour and book it. Like I'll like this girl, I charged her for an hour the other day and I was there for 2.5 hours because I love it. right? And that's how I got good at what I do, because I just kept learning off their bodies. But if I just gave them something and didn't test it in the session, and they go away and they never come back, a lot of the time they think they got better, but that person didn't get better and just didn't go back to them. So this is a very common thing, and you need to learn off their body in the session, trying things and compare, like literally compare. What's the range of motion? Does it increase? Does the pain decrease? Does this hurt? Okay, now if we do this, does it not hurt? Like, this is how you're going to learn, and that will make you go over your hour, but your passion will shine through. The client will feel it, and you'll get way better at what you do rapidly compared to other things. And what I've also realized in this last course I did, bro, was they would feel lost, a lot of these physios, because we have a nice system. We got a good assessment. We got shit we can do. They would feel very lost, a lot of these. That's why they're doing all these courses everywhere. Even after the course, just having what we did, I would feel lost if I was to treat someone with back pain. We're blessed. We're blessed.
Oh, I know that. And I've always thought that.
Yeah.
Day dot. One more one.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think this would be a good one to finish on, because we're going to manifest this.
Yeah.
You guys need to get on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah.
And that was on a potty clip. And I was like, that's like the ultimate for us.
Yeah, that is.
So if anyone listens that knows Joe.
Yeah, we'll make that happen.
Maybe we'll just all manifest that together, because that'd be sick, man. That'd be like, I mean, the ultimate is just to help more people, but he's got such a huge fucking following. But
can you all go on his podcast, on his Instagram, and just comment
and spam.
Get these boys on. Get these boys on. Because, man, I feel like I feel like that will happen, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've said it recently.
Yeah.
And I know that
Yeah.
When a ripple like that goes through, will inspire and change the fucking world. I remember him talking about once on a party, like, yeah, and like the quads somehow affected my back pain. I stretched my quads and I was like, oh fuck, I could break it down to him so much, you know, and blow his fucking mind. And you know, he's the sort of dude that will love it.
Yeah,
you talk about the fascia and body reading, the cobweb and posture and how it does it.
Yeah,
you could change the world, man.
It'd be a great conversation because he's just one of the smartest people in the world. Like he's just so smart, dude, and he's learnt off the best. Like when you think about what a podcast really is, he's getting the best people at what they do on the podcast, and he's learning, but he's very questioning, and he's asking, he's going back and forth with him, and he's willing to learn. He's willing to be wrong. Like it's so, how good is he, man? The way
it's refreshing,
yeah, dude. The way that he's willing to be wrong, but also when he knows he's right, he's willing to fucking stand up for what he truly believes in. He's amazing. Yeah. So that's our fucking, like, you know, major goal. But
how crazy is the I actually showed Diane how I had when we did that Jim Ron goal setting thing.
Oh, yeah, sick.
I think that was 2021 we did that maybe. So Jim, if you guys haven't done this, it's a Jim Ron goal setting thing. It's on YouTube. And I think you write down like 100 goals. It's like a playlist maybe, this video thing. And or as many goals as you can think of. And then you write 10, 5, 3 or 1 next to them. So if you think this goal will take 10 years, 5 years, 3 years or 1 year. And I forgot all about it, right? One of them was get a gym on the water in Kawana. I think I had it down for 3, and we did that in 1. Mm-hmm. One of them was interview Paul Check. I ticked that off because you did it, so that feels like it did.
You were there.
Yeah. So, and that was down for 3. That was done in 3. Yeah. And then I had do an online Diane Lee course, and I did an in-person course 3 years later. You know how crazy it is? Diane is in Canada. The fact that she was even in Australia, and you have to be a physio to do a course. I just managed to smuggle my way in and said, hey, I can do this. Blah, blah, blah. I've done this. And she's like, yeah, you can do it. That we just did them. And I was like, oh, one of them was also having an organic veggie garden. I did that unintentionally. It's like anything. You got to write it down. Please write it down if you haven't, right? If you're listening, write it down. You got to know what you want and the type of partner you want, the type of house you want, the type of car you want. You can have these superficial things. There's nothing wrong with that. Play the game, right? The way you're gonna the way you want to work. What job do you want to do? How much you want here? Like what country do you want to travel to? Like these crazy things. It's a big digital game.
I know.
Get
specific with it, eh?
Yeah, get specific with it.
Yeah, like the chick you want. Does she have a big butt? Does she have boobs? Like what? You know, like that's all material. But once I got made to feel dumb for saying that, and I was like, actually, I feel like you need to write down specifics on your partner, what they look like, what their personality is like, what do they love, what are their core values like, all that stuff, but also the physical as well. And then same with your cars and your houses and stuff. I remember writing 10 years ago, I was like, I'm going to have 4 dogs, I'm going to live in Watala near the beach.
That's going to happen for sure.
That's been 6 years now. And I was like, right now I'm in touch with that more than ever. I'm like, I'm getting that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna manifest that.
It's weird how when we got older,
year.
we yearn for that a little more now, eh?
I think
that home.
Yeah.
Not a rental.
Well, man, what I reckon we're going to do is like, we're definitely going to have houses and properties and things like that. But fuck, eventually, man, we're just going to have a big property, I reckon.
Yeah.
That we're just like all living there as a tribe.
Yeah, yeah.
We've got to.
Yeah, I know.
And it just be so growing food and.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. We could.
Magic.
It's, I've seen that island near my house.
Oh, dude, how sick would that be?
Yeah, because Craig's mate developed this island.
True.
It's all these houses about 3-4 mil, but
yeah,
it's perfect, man.
Yeah.
It's full perfect. It's like probably 10 houses on it.
No
it's
way.
got a gated community. It's on the water at Watala.
That would be so sick.
Maybe we should try and do that.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah, let's do that. And fuck,
and just call it Corrective Cult.
Yeah, Corrective Cult. And everyone's wife is our wife. You got to share your wife.
That's a joke.
Yeah,
that's a joke, listeners.
That's a joke. All right, don't get triggered. But I think that's a beautiful thing. I was speaking to a girl about it this morning about. I feel sorry for the modern woman. That it's that they got to grow up. Well, they got to if with like an average life. Especially if the man has to work away and whatnot, man, it's crazy that a girl has to have kids, look after the kids. If some have to work also, and feed the crying child, feed the man if the man's a baby too, and without any support from the elders, because these days elders are sick, Alzheimer's and whatnot. Instead of they would be part of the tribe, and that the elders would have the purpose of the children. Yeah, I was thinking the mother archetypes, how they when they lose the kid leaving out at home, they're like, oh, where's my purpose now? You know, totally. The purpose comes along when that kid has a kid, and then the mother archetype becomes a grandmother archetype. Yeah, and that's the way it should be. That's the way it's always been. Yep. And it doesn't say it should be, but that's the way it's been for. It's deep purpose. In our DNA. It's the biggest. It's the longest. You know, it's been in our DNA forever. Yeah, exactly. So it's survivability, and that a girl now has to like. You know, the kids, they got to feed them, they got to do this. They don't have any support of another woman if they can't breastfeed, where they're going to get this milk. You know, they could have, you could like, imagine living in a tribe like that, and then like one woman like checks on the kids for one night, you know? Yeah, it'd be so good, dude. I just and they got like, energy. Yeah, I just feel like that, you know, everyone's sharing and helping out. And man, the more money you get or the more materials you get, it doesn't fulfill you. And it's like, what fulfills me is family, friends, and good times, being in the ocean and sauntering and being around people. Like, nothing can buy that, you know. Yeah. Obviously, you can buy a little bit of it, but that's where I'm thinking. It's like later in life, like I just want good people around me, and that's what fulfills me. And we've got so much life left to live, man. That's what's exciting. Yeah, like, you know, we're probably a third of the way through our life. Right, we still got so long to go. Yeah, so and if we're setting it up now for what we want to do, it's crazy, and you don't have to have that sick, like that sick life when you're 50. Someone gets cancer and this, and it's just like you can tell the truth. You don't have to be like don't have to hide. Don't have to hide. Yeah, you don't have to hide. It's you don't have to hide who you really are deep inside. That's the thing. Like Carl Jung talks about the shadow self, and that's like the part that desires everything that wants to come out. It's like if you hide them, you just suppress everything. Yeah, it's like, and I just see a lot. I don't know, man. I see a lot of people hiding. It's like because they've grown up that way, and it's just what it is. But hiding shit from their partners. Yeah, it's just might not even be like cheating. It might just be she doesn't know this. Like yeah, for sure. Like not even a big deal, but they're hiding it still. Like yeah, and that's the thing. It hurts you. Yeah, it doesn't hurt them. It hurts you over time because it's a festering wound that you have inside you. Yeah. And it's like, I've been guilty of that in the past, and it's not the way to live. You're out of integration with your soul, and you might be able to hide it from them, but can't hide it from yourself over time. Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. The honesty is always the best way. But any cool little thing you've been listening to that we could chuck on, like a little couple minute YouTube? I'm trying to think of something to finish. I saw this quote by Rhythm. No, it was John Martini. You can be a victim of your history or a master of your destiny. How good is that? Yeah. I was like, I screenshotted that one. A victim of your... You can be a victim of your history or a master of your destiny. Yep. That's like flipping the coin, right? Yeah. It's powerful. Because people get stuck in that victim, or this happened, or okay, what now? What's next? Fuck yeah, I'm God. What am I going to create? Like, I'm trying to think of like any like Michael Singer stuff you've been...
Don't know, man. I haven't.
There might be a little bit of pause, but our guy can cut it so it's quicker.
I watched a South Park thing this morning that was pretty funny. About, what was it? Sent it to Harry.
It's dinner time on the East Coast in less than an hour. People are going to die.
Sir, we've got a boy on the hotline who says he might know something.
Who is this?
My name isn't important. What matters is that the answer is in the pyramid.
The pyramid? That's ancient stuff you're talking about. Are you sure? Bring up the pyramid.
Oh, that's so good, dude.
What is it? What is it for?
We built the pyramid a long time ago to illustrate how much people should eat of the 4 basic food groups. Sir, we abandoned the pyramid when Michelle Obama got involved. The pyramid doesn't work. We've already tried it.
It's upside down.
What?
Sir, the pyramid is upside down.
Turn the pyramid upside down. You can't be serious. That would put butter and fat at the top. Flip the damn food pyramid! This is not FDA approved. It's dinner time on the East Coast in 10 minutes. Now do it! Sir, we've got a match.
Nutrition is stabilizing.
We've got a well-balanced vaccine, sir.
Dude, that's so good.
Get the president on the phone. Tell him to have some steak with his butter.
Man,
Yeah, fucking man, they're onto that, eh?
that's such a good thing, eh? Because people that can't see it, at the bottom of the pyramid, it's got like, obviously the biggest is like grains, then what is it, vegetables and shit, then like fats and oils or meat and fats and oils. Fully, it is flipped, eh? Like, it's crazy how you need, like, if I don't have steak, okay, this is a good example. Someone that just has like a salad, like a spinach salad with like veggies. I got spinach the other day, pretty well a whole fucking bag of spinach, right? You need about 6 salads out of it. And I grabbed half that bag, chucked it in this pan, and it's fried down till about a snack. You know what I mean? It fried into nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that's really that matters, because the water's cooked out of it, right? And I was like, it's nice. It gave me a bit of fiber and magnesium, but holy shit, imagine if you just were fed that.
Yeah.
And how slowly starving you would become and whatnot. And how I was talking about these people stuck in the science. I think I said this on the potty once, man. I have a vegan sort of old nutritionist friend, and very much in the evidence base. She's even sharing shit about how glyphosate's fine and the evidence with glyphosate's fine and all these chemicals and soy and all this sort of shit. And it's like, how many people do you know who's like, if the baby has like soy milk, they just break out. And like my friend Jamie, her kid, when she drank soy milk, and when she put it through the breast, the kid got like reacted straight away. Night and day, right? I had a couple of people tell me that actually. And I could see the blood through this girl's fucking skin. Like, I couldn't believe. Yeah, anemic as fuck. And maybe she gets the blood test done, and maybe the blood test tells her otherwise. I don't even care. I'm just looking at her face, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling.
Yeah.
Because the signals of health was like, whoa, like,
Yeah.
I would 100% would assume she's infertile, and you would assume that there's no way she has a nutrition on board to do it, but she's stuck in the paper and not stuck in her body. And I remember she used to look so good, man. It's like, it's crazy. And now, like, oh wow, like, I didn't say anything to her because I feel sorry for her, but I'm like, oh, this poor girl, she's stuck in the paper, stuck in the science, which obviously there's a paper on each side for everything. Yeah. So what's the answer to that? You know, like, the answer is what works.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's working or it's not. So, yeah. Oh well, it's a rough life for some. Rough life for some, but you got to listen to the body. Remember, the body's wisdom. You are God. Yeah. You are God. God speaks to us all. You're speaking to yourself. The body never lies.
Don't be a flat earth vegan.
Don't be a flat earth vegan.
Nah. Love you all. Whatever.
Yeah, love you all. You're all brothers and sisters. Yeah. But just do your best.
Just do better. No.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
All right. Much love. See you when I get back from Japan.
Yeah. Catch you guys.